Today, I got something extremely exciting for you guys. This is a complete marketing strategy for a clinic. I'm still in Argentina. I got my bottle of wine here. Actually, you know what's funny? I don't drink, and I have this as a present, but I don't have anybody to give it yet. So it is what it is. It's almost we're kind of like in autumn here, and it's funny because we've got this June, July, which is the coldest, pretty much coldest months of the year. And it's funny how it's upside down. So let me know where you're based in the comment section below. If you've been to South America, it's been my 3 years here already, and it's going pretty well. Also, don't forget to ask the questions in the video because the goal here is to help you out. But if you don't ask, comment any underneath, I cannot help you. While I'm waiting for comments to arrive from you, I found this interesting thread in Reddit. It got a lot of attention. It got a lot of comments. So I'm going to literally break this down and help you hopefully in the process. Hello, I opened a medical business about 2 years ago and I have spent about 90K in marketing per year. 90K in marketing per year is actually pretty decent. It's not crazy high or extremely low figure. It's a very healthy budget, which you can do quite a lot of things with. Now, the issue is all of my patients are from word of mouth, which is actually a good sign for a clinic because if it was complete shit, you wouldn't be getting that word of mouth effect. But each time I go to a marketing company, they tell me I need to spend X dollars and I do it and it never works. Sorry to hear this. This can happen. I've given about 3 companies 6 months, and each time they tell me, oh, just a bit longer and more money, and it never has anything to show. 6 months is a fairly decent amount of time. So we usually see earlier results like 2 months into the process, 3 months into the process, depending on the level of complexity, depending on the goal, depending on the initial thing. So 6 months is a good, healthy amount of time to give anybody. So yeah, something was definitely off. Is it in your reputable companies? Okay, that doesn't really matter. The business is a testosterone replacement clinic and concierge medicine. This stuff is fairly niche, but in this video, I'm going to share the overall strategy that kind of works for every type of clinic. And depending on the situation, obviously, we have to make sure that we use specific plans to make it all work locally. Quick introduction if you don't know me, I'm Artem. I'm one of the partners of Dominanza Digitale. We're a digital agency based in Rome, Italy, and we worked with all sorts of clients over the past 10 years. We've got almost 70 clients in our portfolio right now in our Argentina, Spain, Italy. Now we're working on the US market as well, and that's why we are here. So, how do we actually approach this entire process for marketing a clinic? And you're in luck because I'm going to give you a perspective from a business point of view, yeah, like your point of view, and from a perspective of an agency. First of all, these are longer than expected buying cycles. And I know in your mind, you're like, oh, yeah, clearly everybody wants my service or my treatment, whatever it is you offer in your clinic. But in reality, is that things, even like teeth, imagine like you've got a toothache or somebody, I'm sure you're aware of these cases. Somebody has toothache and they're not even going to the dentist right away. They're like, yeah, I probably should go. I should check them out. They even find somebody, but then they kind of don't go to dentist before it gets like super late, before they start getting like some crazy inflammation or gets infected. So even with pain, people are not ready to make the decision right away. That's why buying cycles, especially for things that are more niche, more complicated, more sophisticated treatments or services, it can take a while. So that's why you should really expect that marketing is not something that can start working immediately, even though frequently it does. And we certainly know how to make it work almost right away for certain types of services. But how do we reduce these cycles? How do we make the purchasing decisions go quicker in people's mind? And this is where this part, weak or inconsistent online presence, comes into play. Because it's just from psychological point of view, we are a lot less likely to purchase from someone that we don't know. And I'll tell you a quick story. I was in Thailand for a digital conference back in like 2018. It was like some SEO marketing stuff. Every evening after the conference, I used to go to this night bazaar where I would have this amazing soup. It's a local soup they've got in Chiang Mai, northern Thailand. I'm there with this soup, and out of nowhere, there's this weird lady that shows up, and she's got some like she's moving all around, like making some funny kung fu moves, and she's got something weird in her hand, and she's holding it like that. She also got like this little stick, and she does this kind of like sound, and the sound comes up exactly like a frog, and it's these wooden frogs that they've got in Thailand. I haven't seen any of those beforehand, so I was like, oh my god, like looks crazy. And she was like so weird, so crazy. So anyway, I finished my soup and then I just leave. The next day, the second day of the conference, I do the exact same thing. I show up at this night bazaar. I have this soup. It's called cow soy. I have the cow soy soup. And out of nowhere, this crazy woman shows up again. But I look at her, I'm like, again, this crazy woman with this crazy frog, whatever, like making this sound, whatever. She shows up the next day, does the exact same thing, like nothing changes. And I buy like three of those frogs. Nothing's really changed. Yeah. So she hasn't changed the way she approached me. Like she didn't approach me, she's just like hanging there. But my familiarity with her grew. Yeah, so I knew exactly what to expect before the first time. I was like shocked, but then I was like all into it. The same thing happens with you being online. Yeah, so it's not about selling your stuff on Instagram or even YouTube. Something that I also recommend, especially for any sophisticated treatment that you do. People really want to spend some time with you, learning about the treatment, learning about the challenges it can bring, like consequences, like really spending some time with you. Kind of want to build that up, the presence. So the exact number is out there. Yeah, the exact number is 90 minutes they have to spend with you, ideally in different locations and different occasions, in order to be somewhat familiar with you and somewhat trust you as a person. And videos are the second best thing to being present, talking to them live in person. That's why it's so, so important. And it works so much better. Like the ads that we're going to launch afterwards, the conversion rate for people when they find you, like everything works so much better. The next thing is this slow response to leads. And as a marketing agency guy, I really dislike this because we come into clients and we're like, guys, we can, for this budget, we can give you this amount of good quality leads. But then what happens is that our clients, they start being slow. They don't respond to leads right away. And then they tell us that they were poor quality leads. Like think about it from the customer's perspective. They're like, maybe they're on the shitter. Maybe they're reaching out to different types of clinics at the same time. If you take longer than X amount of minutes, you have 5, 15 minutes to respond to them, there is a problem. Yeah, because somebody else will already have responded to them. And of course, they will pick this person, pick this clinic instead of you. Last but not least, this is a entrepreneurial factor. Sometimes things don't work as intended. We can have the best marketing out there. We can be as creative as we possibly can be. Like we can have all the luck in the world, but it still wouldn't work out because the place is like the clinic is located in a bad neighborhood. Let's go back real quick to the question again. So here is saying I've given about 3 companies 6 months in each time to tell me, oh, just a bit longer. So we've got 6 months with that. Perfect. Clinic marketing framework for 6 months. What do you think we're going to do? How are we going to approach this? Given that we've got 6 months, we can actually start with SEO. This is something we do right away because it affects everything else. We'll look into Google Business Profile. These are Google Maps, and we'll look into SEO in general for your website. These are two different things. I'm not going to go into details about this right now, but it's important to say these are two different things. What we're doing here is that we want to address the constant long-term demand that occurs locally. So if you're a dentist, people look for a dentist in a specific area. We want to capture this audience. So this will bring you a constant amount of leads every single time. It may or may not fill up your clinic completely, but we want to make sure that we're capturing these people. We see the results going in maybe 6, 8 weeks after we launch the whole thing. Of course, it depends on competition, depends on the area, depends on the type of a service, depends on all these things, but we see these results as quickly as that. Google Map traffic and SEO traffic are the best when it comes to conversion rate. We can have maybe 10 or even 20% conversion rate. So every, say, 10 to 20 people that visit your website will get in touch with you. That's just how crazy this traffic can be when it's done right, the best sort of traffic. However, you cannot get more than people search for. Say if only dentists in a specific area search for only 100 times per month, we cannot get more of those. And there's this constraint. Now, if you've got a lot of competition or it's taken a long time to build up this presence in Google Maps, you can, of course, power things up with Google Ads. Google Ads are the most expensive ads out there because they're the most high intent ads out there. Google knows that people that use specific keywords are very likely to become your patient, become your client, visit your clinic, and actually pay you money. That's why Google is charging you a shit ton for these ads. And you cannot be really bad with these ads. So if you are really taking your time to respond to potential patients, you are not to use Google Ads because you will waste your budget. especially these days because Google Ads has become really kind of like AI optimized and everything. So you really have to understand how to structure the entire campaign, how to build a landing page, how to make sure the conversion mechanisms are built in there so you're not really wasting any of the budget and you're not wasting time of your appointment setters. So tell me, I'm actually curious if you use Google Ads and if it worked for you because I hear different stories. Let me know in the comments below. I already mentioned just how important our videos are for building your presence, building your brand, building that trust with your potential patients before they come into your clinic. Instagram videos are super important before you launch Meta ads. We have clients that come to us like, okay, we want a campaign to be launched like yesterday. We want patients yesterday. And we check out their Instagram and their last video was published 3 months ago. And there is a problem. Yeah, we can, of course, launch a campaign for you, but the amount of money you will spend on that campaign and the conversion rate you'll get will be a lot worse than if you are going to first publish some videos, build up a bit of that goodwill. People, you will start showing up in people's feeds, and then we'll launch the campaign. And then you will have a lot lower CPMs. Your client acquisition cost will be lower, and everything good happens from this presence. So I highly recommend, even organic will start converting better if you have the videos, because it doesn't happen these days that people come to your website, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to reach out to this person. No, they're skimming through your reviews, checking out if you had any recent reviews. They're checking out other resources that you cannot control as much, like Yelp or other, like, I don't know, check out Reddit. They go into your Instagram, they check out your YouTube, they check you out on LinkedIn. Like they check all these things out before making this decision to reach out to you. So you really can't get lazy anymore. You have to address all these channels. And then bringing people back to your clinic, something that people never pay attention to. But in fact, this is the most profitable channel for you because you've already paid for this audience. They've already come to you. They have already paid you. They're most likely to spend more money with you again because they already been to you and they hopefully like the service, the treatment that you provide them with. And many times people are like, yeah, but they already got the treatment, whatever. Yeah, but a simple email, which you can send them absolutely free of charge, and then they'll check you out. They will find a reason to show up in your clinic again, or at least think about it. Now, you're a clinic owner, you're a professional, you know what you're doing, you're really good at it. I'm a marketer, and something that I care the most are these three things. First of all, I always want to increase what we call average cart value. This is more suitable for an e-commerce, but like as a clinic owner, is there any way that when a new patient or an old patient or somebody comes into your clinic, can we sell them something else? Can we upsell a service in a way that makes them feel good, doesn't make them feel that you only want make extra cash for them, even though your goal is, of course, maximize your profitability? Is there anything else that you can upsell them in this way? And instead of them paying only $600, they're paying $1,000. So it's all better. Next question is how to increase LTV. And LTV stands for long-term value. So how to get these people to come back to you. And this is something I mentioned before. How can you invite them to show up in your clinic and spend more money with you once again? Are there people that showed up to your clinic 6 months ago or more that haven't maybe forgotten that they need another Botox treatment, or maybe they want another teeth whitening, or maybe there is something else? Whatever it is, how can we increase this LTV? Last but not least, I love this one. How to get existing patients promote you for free. I'll give you a story. There's this Thai restaurant right in the city center, and inside there's like this big, massive Buddha kind of fountain right in the middle of the restaurant. It looks super epic. And a lot of people actually take photos with it. And when they take photos with it, they upload the image to like social network and they would tag the restaurant right there. They're located there and then it would spread. And then I saw this strategy used by other people in different types of businesses. If you have something remarkable in your office, for example, something extraordinary that people like, my God, that's like insanely cool, crazy, like they want to share. It alone can help you promote your business in some really crazy way because people will take photos with it and then they will post them on Instagram. They will tag your place and then it will happen absolutely naturally. So if you need building up your clinic, let me know. I have this 15-minute free, I think it's 15-minute free call that you can book in the comment section below. Ask questions in the comments. I will get back to them in the comment section. In fact, I can record a video responding to your question so it can really help you out that way. I'll see you in the next one.